Investigating the effect of different autumn-winter scenarios on spring bud break in apple trees. We all know that there are different seasons which have exactly the same amount of chill accumulation, yet bud break in spring is vastly different. We also know that rest-breaking agents don't work the same from one season to the other, even if they have the same amount of chill accumulation. This leads us to believe that maybe it's not only the amount of chill which we get during the season, but the distribution of the chill that is important for bud break in spring. We therefore want to investigate the influence of autumn and winter temperatures on bud break in spring. How we went about this was we used 1.5 whips of 793 in 5-litre bags grown at Red Hill in Somandium. This was used as our warm area and is denoted with a W. Then we had a cold area, which was Bokkeveldskloof in the Bokkeveld, and we called that a C. Then we moved trees around from the cold area to the warm area and vice versa until we had all 8 possible scenarios of cold winters, cold springs, warm springs, and cold autumns, warm autumns. We didn't use any rest-breaking agents, and then we quantified the bud break in springtime, either under the warm or the cold conditions. We also determined the depth of bud dormancy during the season. Here we have some photographs of bud break on the 12th of November. We can see very clearly that all the trees that were in the cold area for the winter had relatively good bud break, and all those that were in the warm area for the winter had pretty poor bud break. If we look at this one, which is a warm autumn, a warm winter, and a cold spring, the worst possible scenario, there was no bud break. And the best scenario, which was the cold autumn, the cold winter, and the warm spring, had very nice bud break. If we look at this a little bit more carefully in the table here, we can see that the stat shows that these ones with the cold winter had a better percentage bud break. The rate of bud break was also higher. And if we look here, the best scenario, the cold autumn, the cold winter, and the warm spring, the time to bud break was vastly less than all the others. Here we have dormancy progression curves for all of the 8 different treatments. I've colored in those that had a cold winter in blue and the ones that had a warm winter in red. And here we can see at the end of the season, all those that had the cold winter had been released from dormancy. They were in eco-dormancy, whilst those that had had the warm winter were still dormant. Obviously, this has an implication for bud break. So therefore, we can say during the 2019 season, the cold autumns and the warm springs could not compensate for a warm winter. However, this was only 1 year's worth of data. We haven't looked at the actual chill units, and we'd have to have a couple more years' data before we can actually make any conclusions on this project. Thank you.